So, you know me, I'm Brianca Jay. I'm here. You are in my bedroom, and this is all the laundry I need to fold. I do that, I decided I wanted a little company and we could talk about some of the books I've read in order to like have better relationships. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, welcome. My name is Brianca Jay. I do literary analysis, book reviews, and recommendations Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I am focused on all things lit. So if you like what you hear, go ahead and get comfortable. Stick with us. We're about to get right into it. So the reason I wanted to talk about books that I've read to like strengthen my relationships with people is because I think that relationships are one of the most important aspects of our like humanity, and I know I've been guilty of giving up on relationships when I feel disappointed or not knowing how to deal with conflict in such a way that I've allowed relationships to end, and I'm really not proud of that. And it was something that I really had to be cognitive of so that I could improve. Because when you're having issues in relationships, it's so easy to think that it's someone else, but a lot of the times, well, all the time, it takes two people to have an argument, to have a disagreement, and to not see eye to eye. And then, yeah, I just wanted to get better at that. I just thought that if I could get better at dealing with other people, then I could see a lot of growth, and then I went on this journey. So I'm going to share some of the books that I thought were the most influential with me, and I'm going to do it in chronological order as to the timing that I read them. So the first book I want to talk about is He's Just Not That Into You, and damn it, I can't even think of the author's name, but He's Just Not Into You is one of those books that got really sensationalized around like I want to say 2011, and it's about just having like basic self-respect. So the author's premise is kind of that women get so eager and so anxious to find their soulmate that they forget to kind of handle themselves in a way that's gonna like get optimal respect, and to kind of take those little social cues and be cognitive of what they are. So for instance, you know, he talks about if a guy isn't answering your calls, and this goes for a guy, but honestly it could be for a woman, anybody, in any relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. So when I was reading this, I was thinking about romantic relationships, but as I've grown older, these ideas fit any relationship. So one thing he talks about that kind of brought my attention: if someone's not answering your calls, they don't want to talk to you, and it's not that difficult, right? Like, stop building these exceptions to what they're doing and stop creating these false narratives of why things aren't working, and just kind of really bite down on reality. It's tough in practice, but over time it gets easier, and it's gonna save you a lot of time. Instead of pining and saying, oh, he's not calling because he's just so busy at work, or he's not calling because, you know, his mom is he's not calling because he doesn't want to call you. A person that likes you will call you, and that's just the bottom line. And so that's why I thought that reading He's Just Not Into You was good, because it helped me realize where I was putting in way too much effort and where I was not facing reality and kind of acting delusional. Once I stopped doing that, I was able to focus my energies on individuals and people that liked me and that I could like get on with like in actuality, and not just in this fake ass fantasy that I made in my head. That I want to talk about, which also the second book I read, was Why Men Marry Bitches. And this is another book that talks about having self-respect. And I think that's so important, because we think about relationships with others and we think about how we can make them like us, to the point that we don't even focus on the idea of, do I like them, right? Like, when you're a real people pleaser and you're real like anxious to have people like you, you can do yourself a disservice and have people pick up on that like desperation, if you will, and use you and take advantage of you. And that's why I really enjoyed reading Why Men Marry Bitches, because it kind of helps you start setting those boundaries in place and seeing things for what it is. Like, someone calling you in the middle of the night, like, it's disrespect. I'm gonna say it again. It is disrespect, and you should let the phone ring. It is not an emergency. It is not important. They do not care about you. They are disrespecting you. Let it ring out. These are some of the times, these are some of the things that you're gonna learn when reading this book, that people test you. People like to test your boundaries. And every time you give in and allow someone to breach your boundary, you lost the test. So, I do want to say that those two books were the first two books to help me start valuing myself so that I can start choosing the right people to work on relationships with. Now, the next book I read was The 4 Agreements. So The 4 Agreements is one of those books that starts to look outside. So where Why Men Marry Bitches is kind of like set some boundaries, have some dignity. He's just not into you. It's kind of like face reality, keep it real with yourself. The 4 Agreements is another one that says seriously let it go. So it's kind of like, don't take it personal. No, he doesn't like you. No, he doesn't want to call you. No, he doesn't respect you. And the 4 Agreements is like the and now what book. So I do like that one because it helps you remember that some people, like, you're great. There's nothing wrong with you, but no, like, everybody can't like you. And so the 4 Agreements really helped me think about that in that way. Like, just the idea that it's not personal. Like, yeah, we went out. I thought I was great. You know, I thought we had a good time, but for whatever reason, you know, he's not interested. And that's okay. That's okay. And so I think that reading the 4 Agreements just kind of helps you balance out and just chill the fuck out. Excuse my language, but like just chill. I think the 4 Agreements kind of helps you remember, like, it's not that serious, it's not that important, it's just okay. Like, people do things for themselves and very rarely for you. And so I think that was one of those books that I needed to read just to not, I'm very sensitive. Like, I can be very sensitive and I pick up on those nuances. Like, I pick up on those things like, oh, I've called her, you know, 2 or 3 times, but she hasn't called me back, or she only seems to call me, you know, if, you know, she's having trouble with her boyfriend. Like, I noticed that type of shit, and I have grown to take note of that, but also by reading the 4 Agreements, it just to not take it personal. Like, I see who you are, and when you're available to me, then I won't be putting my time in that area. But also, I'm not sad. I'm not broken down about it. I'm not gonna write a paragraph to you or subliminally insult you online. It's just not that deep for me. So another book that I read that I felt really helped me understand, you know, things better was How to Win Friends and Influence Others. And I do plan on doing a review on this book in particular because it talks about how to branch out, make new friends, right? I think that once I started working on my relationships with others and starting to see areas I needed to improve and then work on those areas and grow in those areas, I realized that it was also time for me to make new friends and new relationships that could benefit me and help me grow in areas that I want to grow. Like, if I'm going to spend all this time learning to have better relationships and being a better friend, well, I'm damn sure also going to go seek out people that are going to value those skills, right? And so in doing so, I had to get out of the comfort of like, oh, I know this person and we have a routine and I don't have to worry you know, stretching myself, and Dale Carnegie's books help you stretch yourself and learn how to talk to people and build connections with people, and to grow more comfortable speaking in any circumstance, and just kind of finding ways to connect. And I liked it because it allowed me to really expand my friendship circle, and it allowed me to meet some really awesome people, and to kind of start taking away those aspects of my personality that I love and I wanted to exploit, and then those parts that I need to work on, I was able to do so, as well as really be able to shape and define the types of people that I value and the people that I wanted around me. And I think after reading all of these books, I do feel like I have better relationships with people. I have more authentic people around me. I don't have like a huge circle of friends. I don't have a huge, you know, a huge following like that, but I do keep very authentic people around me, and I find myself having a lot less arguments, a lot less disagreements, and even I found myself just really practicing the skill of listening and empathizing more, and understanding that a difference in opinion doesn't mean the end of the world, right? And I think that, you know, I have better friendships, I have better relationships, I have more substantial ideas to share with people, and people feel comfortable with me, and I've grown so much. But I did struggle with just finding myself in relationships that disappointed me or didn't fulfill me how I wanted them to. And it is hard when that happens, but it's not the end, and you can find the friends and the relationships you're looking for. You just have to be honest about what you want and seek it, and not be afraid of losing things in the process. I wish you guys luck. This is my channel. If you enjoyed what I said, and if you enjoy any of these books, go ahead, leave me a comment, let me know, and then go ahead and hit subscribe. It means the world to me each and every time. Thank you for joining me. I hope you didn't mind me folding my clothes and doing my laundry, but I just wanted to check in with you guys because we like a little family now. I'll see you next time.